Hello, people. Well, it is Sunday, August 20th, and it has been a while since I was able to do a weekly roundup. I'm trying to get back into my regular schedule of doing my Sunday roundup of all the news. And this week is actually pretty busy. There's a bunch of things to report about God of War and Craig Mazon's thoughts on his favorite episode of The Last of Us, and more video game adaptations being announced. So I'm gonna get into that after the intro. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. And our first little bit of news is an interview with Craig Mazin, the showrunner and creator of The Last of Us, with The Hollywood Reporter. This is a pretty nice interview that I could just do a full article on, but it has some questions and answers about Craig Mazin and his reaction to how well the show was received. It was a big hit and all the great accolades that he received, but he does say that one of the most meaningful accolades came in the form from Mr. Steven Spielberg in a simple email about episode 3, of course, the acclaimed Long Line Time, the episode with Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett. Mazin marvels. He was so complimentary about the whole show, that episode in particular. It was so lovely. I shared it with all the folks who worked on the show. So then an interesting question near the end, or halfway through, is so looking back on season 1, which scene are you most proud of? Craig's answer: I have a certain place in my heart for a scene in the last episode that I ended up shooting because our director had gotten COVID. It's the scene where Joel reveals to Ellie why he has a scar on his head. She says, time heals all wounds. And he says, it wasn't time that did it. I am particularly proud of that scene because first, it's simple. It's two people talking, which is my favorite. They're not even moving when it gets really good. So everything else goes away and it's just about their connection. And I'm so proud of the performance that Pedro and Bella delivered in that moment. It was also the third to last day of shooting, so it was the culmination of a calendar year of shooting and the culmination of the work that they have done with each other as professionals, but also as human beings. It was so real and it was so beyond. I just love it. Yeah, so stay tuned because I'm going to do a more in-depth look at this article later on. Now, in Gran Turismo news, but in an exclusive interview with Screen Rant, real-life inspiration Jan Mardenborough reveals Gran Turismo star Archie Medquay's struggles filming the upcoming video game adaptation. Well, yeah, officially it hasn't been released yet to the public. But for anyone who doesn't know, this is actually based on the true story of a real Gran Turismo gamer who became an actual race car driver, Jan Mardenborough, this man right here talking in the interview. So the actor faced physical struggles on set, including discomfort from sitting in a race car without a seat and experiencing the intense physical effects of racing. But it did serve a bit of controversy because it accurately portrays Mardenborough's harrowing crash, but some critics have criticized its placement in the story timeline. Audiences have found the heartwarming story to be far more important than this aspect. Yeah, people are criticizing it because they placed it in a different part of the story. Because structurally, that would make more sense, dramatically and story-wise. I guess the family of... because people actually died. Mardenborough had a crash where people actually died in the stands, in the audience. So, it's more about the family of those people and accurately being betrayed. But I can't comment on that because I haven't seen the movie yet. So with the movie putting his characters through his physical ringer, Jan Mardenborough reveals Archie's real-world struggles on set. So this is what Mardenborough actually says himself. Archie's a tall guy, so he had the discomfort of sitting in a race car without a seat. A race car is made out of carbon, and then we have to sit over the carbon. Then we have a seat over the carbon. Otherwise, your spine would just compress until you wouldn't be able to get out and walk. But he's quite tall, so he had to take the seat out. Bearing in mind, he's doing 150 miles an hour, acting as well, and he's feeling everything. He's feeling the G-force and the heat. It's real sweat, and he said, it's an attack on the senses. For me personally, I play it down because it's my job. But for somebody who's not experienced that before, they always say it's like you're in a fight with someone. Like Mike Tyson, everything hurts, everything's sore, and you're mentally exhausted. Personally, for me, it's just part of the game, so I get better. I train every day. I take care of my tissue, and I watch my weight because it's part of what you have to do to be the best driver you can be. It's part of my life. It's not just sitting down and pressing a few buttons and turning the wheel and just driving on a Sunday. It's war. It was pretty interesting feedback from Jan Mardenborough himself. I don't know if he was on set, but I'm sure he was. He must have been on set. A harrowing crash at Nürburgring, whatever, I can't pronounce that, sorry, in 2015, which killed one spectator and left others injured. The second trailer for the adaptation revealed how it would tackle this subject, accurately depicting his car flipping over the guard fence and the mental toll it took on him. Despite the accuracy, though, Gran Turismo's adaptation on the crash has drawn wide criticism, with many taking issue for being used as a step in Mardenborough's understory in his early career, when in his actual career, it happened years after his rise to stardom in 24 Hours of Le Mans. Upon a special previews, though, audiences have celebrated the heartwarming nature of the movie's story, taking lesser issue with the aspects. Well, the audience wouldn't know in general that the real accident happened at a certain time. The audience isn't going to know that. It was a necessary change that they had to make for the story, which comes out on August 25th. So next week, a couple more days, it's coming out. Now over here, we have a new announcement of another video game adaptation of an unusual video game franchise. This is coming from Deadline. The Story Kitchen partners with Manami Park for film adaptation of hit video game franchise Slime Rancher. Such an unusual. It's like they're going to start adapting everything. So Story Kitchen has partnered with Manami Park to adapt the video game franchise Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher was released early access 2016, when official release in 2017. It's one of the highest rated games on Steam, with a 98% positive average score, and sold over 6 million copies across all platforms, with over 15 million players worldwide. Slime Rancher 2 launched in early access in September 22nd, 2022. It sold over 300,000 copies in the first week. That's not even that much, really, I'm not gonna lie. The original game was a first-person sandbox experience where you play as Beatrix Lebeau, a plucky young rancher who sets out for a life 1,000 years away from the Earth and the far range. Each day presents new challenges and risky opportunities as you attempt to amass a fortune in the business of slime ranching. So how are they going to turn this into a movie? Who even knows? That's not anything what this article is about. Yeah, so far this is just an announcement. But Story Kitchen was founded by John Wick writer-creator Derek Kolstad and Sonic the Hedgehog film and TV producer Dimitri M. Johnson, as well as former agent Mike Goldberg. So yeah, Story Kitchen has actually been in a lot of announcements recently. They have a bunch of video game adaptations in the works, so that's all they're going to do as a production company, is just that. I could see that, because most recently its principals have the game to TV adaptations of Tomb Raider. So they're working on Tomb Raider and Splinter Cell for Netflix, and Sega's Toe Jam and Earl and Streets of Rage, and respectively set up at Amazon and Lionsgate. And It Takes Two set up at Amazon. So they got officially six video game adaptations in the works. This article also links to another Story Kitchen adaptation for Sifu. So that's another one. That's 7. So on top of that, there's also Sifu and Vampire Survivors, which I reported on Vampire Survivors before. So that's basically 8. They're working on 8 adaptations. So Story Kitchen is coming out swinging. Officially, I don't think they've even released anything yet. So we'll see what happens, but good for them.
A little bit of an update with what's going on with the live-action God of War series for Amazon, and it's possible that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson could be getting the role. So this article is coming from animatedtimes.com, which also links to a giant freaking robot article. The Animated Times one is more recent. So Dwayne Johnson really playing Kratos in live-action God of War series? So it's a question. So they're not saying yes. Known leaker says Amazon seriously considering. Similarly, another iconic video game series is in line to hit the big screen. Well, I don't know, is streaming the big screen? Santa Monica's 2018 installment of God of War. Yeah, so they're going to be adapting the 2018 God of War, not the 2022. But in the God of War, Kratos and son Atreus go on a journey to the highest peak of 9 realms in order to spread the ashes of his second wife, Faye, as per her wish. So it was confirmed in late 2022 that Amazon and Sony Pictures are going to be doing the live-action series based on the 2018 game. Rafe Judkins, who is writer for Tom Holland's Uncharted. So this guy is going to become a video game adaptation guy. He's going to become that guy, or one of them. There's going to be a handful of people then I wish I was. That's who I want to be. I want to be that guy writing video game adaptations. That'd be awesome. So Rafe Judkins has been roped in as showrunner and executive producer for the series. So far, it says here Dwayne Johnson's name linked with Amazon's God of War live action series. Showrunner Judkins or any other official figure has yet to come forward with regarding who's going to be cast. Of course, people are already posting what they would like, or their theories, or what they've heard as rumors. But some fans have suggested Dave Bautista, which is another good choice. He's also a really a number one choice for Marcus Phoenix for the Gears adaptation. Jason Momoa, he's also a good choice. But had to shave his head though. Like with Momoa, he'd have to shave his head. You cannot be Kratos and not shave your head. And Dwayne Johnson, whose head's already bald, so. But according to some user named Red Lightning 420, he doesn't really say why or no. He just has its source on TMZ. But according to Twitter user, the directors of God of War are strongly considering handling the role of Kratos to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And he credited TMZ as a source. But at the bottom of this article, they said that they couldn't find anything about the official reporting from TMZ on their site or other social media. How this person knows this, I don't know, because they can't seem to find any example of this on the actual website.
Well, everybody, that is all the news for the week of August 14th to the 20th. A pretty busy week, actually. Lots of things to report on, which is fun. Nice. Some new adaptations announced, and people talking about casting possibilities, and Craig Mazin going on about The Last of Us again. So, a busy week. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned, and don't forget to keep gaming.